Welcome to Vegan Intel. Good to see you all. Good to see you, Craig, Rosterman, everybody. It's always a pleasure. Make sure you eat to live and live to eat. Much respect to you, Hawkeye. Make sure you hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for that. And we have some pretty horrible news this afternoon. It's being reported that nearly 3 out of 4 U.S. adults are overweight or obese. This is actually a 911 emergency. It's horrible, 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 horrible news. It seems that health has not been a major concern in America. And I don't understand it because without health, what do you have? Much respect to all of you over on Facebook. Thank you for watching. Everybody here on YouTube, thank you for watching. Send this to everybody you know. We can try to help our relatives and friends and family as much as we possibly can. It's very hard to really get people to understand the sincerity of health. But we're going to try to do our best. There is some pushback for those of us that are trying to get people to eat better. It seems that I'm not sure why it's demonized, why we're demonized a lot of times for trying to get people to eat better. But I think a lot of people take it as a personal attack when you try to get them to eat better. But it's not really a personal attack. And I think things are probably going to get so bad that finally the government will step in and do something about it, because America is an aging country. Not having as many children as used to have. And when you mix the fact that you're not having as many children as you used to have, and the baby boomers are all my age, I'm 66, you're looking at a situation where if a lot of the younger people, 50 and 40 and 30, have horrible health issues and end up passing away, it could devastate the United States population. Almost like Americans are waging war with themselves. The military is suffering already because the military can't find soldiers in enough condition to be able to join the military. And it's nobody saying nothing. It's just, I don't understand. It wasn't mentioned in the presidential campaign at all. And these addictions, these food addictions, they're really bad. Like, I have friends and relatives that have these food addictions, and even when it's life or death, they can't help themselves. I've watched doctors tell friends and relatives, listen, you got to stop eating this. And they say, okay, doc, I know. But they go right home and eat it. And it's hard for a lot of them. Some people live where the food stores are kind of funny, and people's schedules are so busy. The cost of living is so high, and they got so many things to do that fast food is convenient. You know, you get up in the morning, you got to take your child to school early in the morning, and sometimes you got to drive them to school. It's not like it used to be back when I was young, where everybody could pretty much walk to school. They had to close a lot of schools because they don't have as many children. So the schools are not necessarily as close as they used to be. Parents are stopping at McDonald's early in the morning so their child can eat on the way to school. It's absolutely frightening. Just look at this here. This is crazy. Almost 3 in 4 U.S. adults overweight or obese. This is brought to you by The Hill. Nearly 3/4 of the U.S. adults are considered overweight or obese, according to new research published Thursday from The Lancet. The research points to a substantial increase in overweight and obese adults in the last 30 years, as well as an especially large increase in adolescents aged 5 to 24, with forecasts showing little room for improvement leading up to 2050. In 2021, 75% of adults were considered overweight or obese. And factoring in how weight issues in adolescents rarely resolve, research predicts that number would rise to 80%, or about 260 million Americans. I think they want to say will. So research predicts that number will rise to 80%, or about 260 million Americans. It's only 340 million Americans. The Lancet paper defined obese adults as those with the BMI at over 30, and overweight adults as those who were aged 25 and over with the body mass index at or over 25. While BMI is not a perfect measure for capturing variations in body structure across the population, experts say it is still the best correlated measure for body fat at a population level. Obesity is higher across gender and age groups in southern and Midwest states, especially Mississippi, West Virginia, and Iowa, the paper found. I would consider it an epidemic, Marie Ng, who is an affiliate associate professor at the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation at the University of Washington School of Medicine, and a co-author of a new paper, told the New York Times. Researchers in the paper called on legislators to take action to break the pattern, referencing the World Health Organization's 2013 to 2020 Global Action Plan for the Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases. They also reference existing investments from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the Center of Disease Control, and the National Collaborative on Childhood Obesity Research, but says these efforts have been insufficient in bending the curve. Despite the booming obesity medication market, researchers say the drugs are not widely accessible to all affected populations. And the authors write, those clinical treatments should not be viewed as a cure for the obesity epidemic. The release of the research comes after President-elect Trump this week nominated Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as his Health and Human Services Secretary. Kennedy has pointed to rising obesity as a symptom of what he calls a failing public health ecosystem, but argues that healthier lifestyles are a better solution than weight loss drugs. The paper recommends interventions that target driving factors in obesity, excessive caloric intake, sedentary lifestyles, and complex socioeconomic, cultural, and commercial factors exacerbated by issues like as urbanization, food industry practices, and systematic inequality. They call on the government to extend investment into industry, specifically in education, social welfare, food and agriculture systems, and marketing campaigns at the national and community level. So they're having a hard time even getting people to even consider doing right. They're having a hard time even getting people to consider eating better. And, they got the drugs, but, the drugs are not going to work. I mean, the drugs are not going to work because there's no way a drug is going to be able to go into your body and help you lose weight and not do some type of damage to your body. And there's definitely going to be limits to the drugs. I don't see any kind of way where the drugs would just be like the some type of super pill or something like that. I don't see that, you know. And so they're going to have to definitely do something about this situation. And it's really hard because people feel like food is, food is kind of sacred to people, and they almost are willing to roll the dice with their health for food. I mean, even when I've seen people be sick from the way they eat, they don't too much regret it. They don't regret how they eat. They just try to figure out how they can, get well while still consuming the bad food. Um, it's a bad situation, and I don't think the politicians can do it because I don't think a lot of the politicians have are really that concerned about health. I think they make a lot of money, and I think sometimes they just go to the doctors and get treatments and surgeries and all of that because, yeah, Kennedy's supposed to take over health, but this says it all right here. You know, this says everything right here. I don't, I mean, just think about it. it wasn't a good idea to have Kennedy in that picture if he's going to be running the health department. It's basically a McDonald's commercial, basically. Anything for $1. And America's for sale, for sure. People, some people say, "Oh, I'm big boned." That's not true. You're not big boned. This is your skeleton, regardless. So it's not your bones. Not at all. And being overweight and obesity causes a lot of problems. Dangers of obesity in esophagus. You have gastroesophageal reflux disease and heartburn. In the arteries, you have high blood pressure and arteriosclerosis. In the lungs, you have asthma and sleep apnea. In the heart, you have coronary heart problems. In the gallbladder, you have gallstones, cancer, and inflammation of the gallbladder. In the pancreas, you have resistance to insulin, type 2 diabetes. In the kidneys, you get cancer and kidney stones. So it's really not any type of joke at all. And as you heard when I read, they said typically when the children are overweight, that doesn't go away, which is crazy. And so, impacts of obesity, it can lead to cancer, diabetes, and other chronic diseases, increase healthcare costs, reduce work productivity, and make it so you have to have an early retirement. What a mess. And all your organs struggle, as you can see in this graph right here. Because your organs have to struggle to keep you alive. Nearly every organ. Nearly every organ. And it's just an epidemic at this point. Diabetes in this country is going through the roof. Stroke and heart attack is up. A lot of people on high blood pressure medicine. Cancer is running wild. Fatty liver disease is running wild. Everybody's got, a lot of people got a high cholesterol. It's really a mess. Seriously. And people are resistant to you even talking about this. It's not nothing they want to deal with. And I got some old information that I would be posting like last year or the year before. And this information might not even be accurate anymore. Like this information right here. 1 in 4 children aged 5 to 17 years are overweight and obese. Now, this was a few years ago. So this is probably 2 in 4 by now. That's a high possibility. This is probably 2 and 4 because these statistics, 3 out of 4. When I did some reports on this last year, they was not reporting no 3 out of 4 adults. This is from new studies. They don't do these studies all the time. They spread them out. And I'm telling you, it's bad. It's really bad. See, they saying 1 in 3 children are overweight or obese, highest rates found in the South. But that's probably gone up. That's probably going up. They probably haven't really did a thorough research on that since the pandemic, and I would imagine during the pandemic people gained weight with the stress and having to be in and having to sit still. I would imagine a lot of people gained a lot of weight during the pandemic. That's what I would imagine. But it's really bad. Look at this. Nearly 260 million Americans will be overweight or obese by 2050, straining the healthcare system and boosting medical costs, according to a study published Thursday in the Lancet Medical Journal. Rates among adult men will rise to 81% from 76% in 2021 and to 82% from 73% among women. That's some bad news. And I'm around a lot of people, and they're not cutting back on their eating at all. As a matter of fact, Thanksgiving is coming and Christmas is coming. So people finna put on more weight on top of that. People are going to put on more weight on top of the weight they've already been putting on. This is absolutely crazy. Seriously. Absolutely madness. This is just madness. And it's all over the media. It's all over. It's everywhere. This is News Medical Life Science. This was posted on November the 15th. Over the past 3 decades, there has been a startling increase in the prevalence of obesity across the USA, at least doubling in adult men and women aged 25 and older female and male adolescents aged 15 to 24. Since 1990, with the number of people living with overweight and obesity reaching over 208 million in 2021, a trend set to continue in the coming decades without significant reform, according to a major new analysis from the Global Burden of Disease Study Collaborator Network, published in The Lancet. Especially high levels of overweight and obesity have already been reached in several U.S. states, with over half, 52%, of older adolescent males aged 15 to 24 years in Texas, and nearly 2/3, that's 63%, of older adolescent females in Mississippi living with overweight or obesity in 2021. And that's 2 years ago. 63% of the women. Crazy. Look down here. The study predicts devastating trends at the population level. The total number of U.S. children and adolescents with overweight and obesity is expected to reach 43.1 million by 2050, an additional 6.7 million from 2021. Crazy. Overweight and obesity can trigger serious health conditions, many of which are now occurring at younger ages, including diabetes, heart attack, stroke, cancer, mental health disorders, and even premature death. The soaring health system and economic costs will be equally pervasive, with over 260 million people in the U.S., including over half of all children and adolescents, expected to be living with overweight or obesity by 2050. United efforts and urgent investments are needed to alter these troubling trajectories and ensure a healthier future for current and upcoming generations. That's absolutely crazy. So pass this, copy this, and send it to everybody. Make sure you get the link, share, subscribe, like, and send this link to everybody. All we could do is try to help. And if somebody sent you this link, please, please try to eat better. Try to take in more fruits and vegetables. Exercise more. Go on some walks. Drink more water. Cut all the sweets and starches. You know, you have to cut back. You have to cut back. You have to live. You have to live. And if you're trying to eat better, go and pick up the easiest way to become a vegan. And whether you go vegan or not, it will definitely help you be able to slowly wean yourself off of some of the bad food and try to eat a little bit better. Check out this commercial, and then we'll finish this conversation.
Have you ever considered becoming a vegan but didn't know what steps to take? Or started the transition but wasn't able to finish the process? Well, you're in luck, because now you have the easiest way to become a vegan. A simple and clear guide to embracing a vegan lifestyle. For more information, please visit www.veganintel.com and get your guide today.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. He says, it really hurts to see your parents dying slowly and you can't help them. I understand what you're saying, Hawkeye. I mean, you kind of, all you can do is keep trying, bro, and go by and try to bring them some fruit and see if that can help clean them out the best you can. You know? Urban Taunt says there's a whole lot of knee replacement surgeries. Yeah, and hip replacement, knee replacement. Knee replacement is crazy because they got all that weight on those knees and those hips. And I got a friend that had knee replacement on one side, and then after so many years, got to go get it on the other side because now you're shifting your weight on the other side. and you have the same situation. So, like I said, send this to everybody. Y'all stay positive. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be having a lot of interviews over here. It's going to be off the chain. We're just really getting the channel built up. So make sure you tell everybody to subscribe. We're going to have some of the top people dealing with health over here. We're going to have a lot of people that's got plant-based and vegan restaurants over here doing interviews. So there's going to be a lot of interviews over here on this YouTube channel. And everybody out there in the YouTube world and on Facebook, make sure y'all take care of your health, because that's all you got. That's all you got is your health. So take care of your health, okay? Victory, and go vegan.